Hi, how are you guys today? My name is Sabne Raznik, and this is the channel here on YouTube where I do what I call mini readings, which is usually just one poem. Sometimes my work if I'm promoting something, sometimes somebody else's. Actually, I'm trying to get quite the library of poems from all around the world on this channel, and I have almost, or probably close to 100 videos on here now, if not over 100 videos. Been doing this since 2011, so for quite a while. So if you find something you like on this channel, of course the English versions are here because that's the language I'm most comfortable with. If you find something here you like, and go back and find it in its original language, if you're able to read it, enjoy both, right? Because poetry and translation, the translations can be very different than the poem in its original language, just because of the nature of translation and the nature of poetry itself. So I encourage you to read both if you are able. Doing this real quick today, I have to go out and do some unpleasant adulting. To go to a doctor and then do something else, that unpleasant adulting stuff that I'd rather not waste a whole day doing. But you know, that's life. So I thought, I got makeup on, let's make a video. And I wanted to do a tribute for Bernadette Meyer, who died on November 22nd. And I'm filming this on January 5th, 2023. So it's been a couple months. But I'm finally making the video. And I want to get this up on YouTube. Don't know when I'll actually post it on YouTube. But it'll get up there eventually. Bernadette Meyer is one of those poets that some of her poems can be quite... She's like me in a lot of ways as far as her poetry goes. Some of her poems can be quite run-of-the-mill and expected. Some of them can be, wow, way out there. But she's a lot of fun in that way, because when you go at her, you just don't know what you're going to get. And I chose one that I thought was sort of middle of the road of all that. Sort of in between the, not her most experimental work, but not her most run-of-the-mill either. This is, I got this from the jacket2.org site, which I really recommend Jacket. It's, it's a lot of fun. I like Jacket, and it's comes from the same people that do the names and nouns today, because my brain is full of all that adulting stuff I have to do later, and it's pushing out stuff that I want to have in my brain. It's done by the same people that do the ModPo course on Coursera, the modern and contemporary poetry class on Coursera. Love those people. Alfreeze, I think that's how you say his name, is the professor who runs Kelly Writer's House in Pennsylvania. And also Poem Talk podcast. That's what I was trying to think of. Poem Talk podcast, one of my favorite podcasts. So kind of the same people run all three of those things. So a lot of really modern, postmodern, postmodern, experimental, even really avant-garde stuff going on, mostly focused on the American side of all that. Not so much what's going on in the world scene as far as avant-garde, mostly the American, but you do get a little bit of the rest of the world thrown in there, and it's a lot of fun. I like the ModPo class as a great introduction into modern poetry, because it takes you all the way back to the very beginnings, whenever, you know, you had Yeats and all that were first breaking the mold, and then you stepped over into T.S. Eliot and the Baroness and Dada, and where things really, really got fun, where people were really experimenting with what language will describe the experience that we're having now post 1914, because the old languages the old way of using language no longer suffices to explain our psychological experience now in the world. What kind of language can we use? What can we do with the English language specifically, but all language, to explain our psychological experience post 1914 is really what was going on. Free verse took off and became what it is now, where free verse is kind of like the standard of what people expect when they think of poetry and all of that. But it's really gone way beyond that now. For, you know, like I said, free verse is kind of the expected thing now, where, you know, in T.S. Eliot's time, that was the experimental avant-garde mode. But it's really gone way beyond that now. And Bernadette Meyer was a fantastic poet to, or is rather, because her work is still out there even if she has passed. A fantastic poet to get into, to explore some of the ways that language has continued to be pushed as time has gone on and as we have stepped into the next century, even beyond that, right? Anyway, this is a poem called Design What Design Does, and it's on the jacket2.org website, and this is the one I'm going to read. Design what design does. Design what design does, design how design, many design, you design, get design tired. That's idea, that's old, that's poem, that's ad devoted to, devoted him, devoted, a devoted single, devoted angle, devoted of devoted, the devoted camera, what does what, that, what did what, that, what mean, what, why, what did, since, is since, usually since, it's the F word, I can't say that, but, you know, since, take, since away, send you, he thought, he so, he, she, he, has, he always, he been, he leave, why didn't, why you, why a sort, why of, why many, why spaces, why make, why the why idea, why of why she, why thought, why of a rectangle, and making a rectangle, a leave, a more, a of a, those, can we, can these, can lines, can that, can are, can necessary, can what do, about, do, a do, I do spaces. I'm going to pause here because, which I normally would not do, but obviously my dog is wanting to introduce herself. My dog that I had before, if you've been on this channel, you've seen her, was a Great Dane. She was my service dog. Her name was Ada. She got cancer, unfortunately. Must have hit her like a freight train because she was perfectly healthy in June of 2022. But September 2022, she developed a swelling on her throat. I took her to the doctor. She had lymphoma. It developed really quickly, and so, unfortunately, and I'm still grieving from this, on November 8th, 2022, I had to put her down because it was just going to be, she was beginning to really suffer. It was really difficult to get her through that last weekend because the vet here isn't open on weekend and there's no emergency vet. So that last weekend was actually rather difficult. I was like, just get through this weekend, okay? And she did. So, and then, I don't know if I was quite ready for it yet, but my mom came home on December 1st she just dropped in without any warning to me. It was like, surprise! With this dog, this is Joy, and she is a Feist Terrier mix. I don't know if she'll get much bigger than she already is. I'll find out as we go along. I'm not even sure exactly how old she is because they didn't know at the shelter. But she's grown a lot since she's been here. Anyway, her name is Joy because I thought after all that sorrow with losing my precious Ada and everything, she needed a happy name. And I am training her to be a service dog too. She won't be able to do all the things that Ada did because she doesn't have the size and strength to do everything that Ada did. But she can hopefully like alert me when I'm getting ready to have one of my temporary paralysis episodes and tell me to go to bed and stuff like that. That's what I'm hoping for. So kind of like she'll be like still a service dog, but kind of like a not quite as trained version, I guess. because there's a lot she won't be able to do because she's not large enough and not strong enough. A lot of the mobility things she won't be able to do, right? But she'll be able to do the most important things. Anyway, back to the poem if I can find where we were. And I'm so sorry for interrupting the poem, but she clearly wanted to be introduced. So that's Joy, and welcome to the family, I guess. Welcome, Joy. I think this is the first time I've tried to make a video around her, so new thing for her. Where was I? It was a lot of can. Where was that? Right, let's see. I'm just going to start over. You guys don't mind that, will you? I'm so sorry that she interrupted, but I know that a lot of you out there are animal lovers, so I'm sure you won't mind. Okay, design what design does, design how design, many design, you design, get design tired. That's good, that's idea, that's old, that's poem, that's add devoted to, devoted him, devoted a, devoted single, devoted angle, devoted of, devoted, the devoted camera. What does what that, what did, what that, what mean, what, why, what did, since, is since, usually since, if, since, take sense away, send you, he thought, he so, he's, she, he has, he always, he been, he leave, why didn't, why you, why a, why sort, why of, why many, why spaces, why make, why the why idea, why of, why she, why thought, why of a rectangle, a making a rectangle, a leave, a more, a of, a those, can, we can, these, can, lines, can, that, can, are, can, necessary, can, what, do, about, do, a, do, I, do, spaces, do, instead, do, of, do, feeling him, them, him, in so narrow a series, so making, so on, so a rectangle, oh, I think I messed that up, him, them, him, in so narrow, so series, so making, so on, so a, so rectangle, want to, want you, want what, want rest, every want others, want can, want we, these, a these sentence, these to these poem, these why these be these, do these, about spaces is spaces, a spaces, series spaces, by spaces typing, spaces arbitrary, that are, that to, that small, that not, that necessary, that for, put something, put I, put love, put you, put think, put what, has to, has fit, has of, has yourself, has by, has writing, has you, what, about, what, in, what, between, what, into, what, it, what are, what, into, what, them, what does, what then, what hide, what the, what rest, what can, what only, what be, what done, it all, it can, it great, it, or it, of it, some, it, things, it, the space, it, some, it, the it, spaces covering, something covering, not covering, mean covering, rectangular, over and over, something, over, the over, doing, over, of, over, before, over, words, over, with, over, poems, over, made, over, be rectangular, mean rectangular, not rectangular, something rectangular, covering spaces, the spaces, things, spaces, some spaces of spaces, or spaces, great spaces, it spaces, can spaces, all spaces, it done, be done, only done, can done, rest done, the done, hide done, then done, does done, what them, into them, are them, it them, into them, between them, in them, about them, what you, writing you, by you, yourself, you, of you, fit you, to you, what has, think, what you, what love, what I, what something, what. That's a bit challenging to read out loud. It's I read it to myself first, and then trying to read it out loud, I think I fumbled a little bit, partly because Joy kept interrupting me. I think she needs to go outside, and she has just got the concept of house training, so I need not make her wait too long. And also because these are not my good glasses. I fell and broke my good glasses, so these have to do. But I did want to do something to memorialize Bernadette Meyer here, since she has passed, and I definitely wanted to do one of her more challenging poems, middle of the way challenging poems for YouTube here. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for joining me here in the Apartment Rouge for this YouTube channel, and I hope that you come back for more. There's so many videos on this channel. I do not post on a schedule here. There are so many reasons for that. So many. I'm disabled. I have chronic health issues. That's one of the reasons. But there are so many reasons for that. Sometimes I will film videos and not put them up for months, but they do eventually pop up here. And that's why I ask people to subscribe. It's not for the algorithm. Couldn't care less about the algorithm. I'm just doing this for fun. I've not monetized this channel. So nothing, it's for nothing like that. But I do ask you to subscribe because I don't post on a schedule. And that way you won't miss a video whenever I do put it up. Alright? Because this is just to share the place et joie. Right? Hope you have a fabulous day. I'm actually feeling better about mine since I sat down and read a little bit of poetry and shared it with you guys here, and lifted my mood a little bit. I feel like maybe it won't be so bad to have to go do this adulting thing now. Thank you for helping me lift my mood. Have a great day. Don't I go hunt ye till we meet again.